else is like stuffed up coffee, all this grossness because of the weather change.
Hey, coffee is not gross.
Not coffee, like coughing.
Coughing, yeah. Yeah, so if we sound a little funny today.
It just sucks, man. It just sucks. We're excited about the warmer weather, and things are starting to slowly but surely get back to normal. But, yeah, I mean, it sucks.
It does. It does. It's migraine, stuffy nose. Migraine, stuffy nose. It's like, or, you know.
Yeah, but we're still here for you. Anything that's going down in Hollywood, we got you. It's going to be a great show, guys. We can't wait. A jam-packed industry news segment and a fun top 5. So stay tuned.
Really? Because I thought it was dumb.
Yeah. You'll see. You'll see. Well, that's later on the show. Now, let's get a little crazy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. Holy moly, it is a great day to get a little crazy, man.
It is a little crazy, because that's what we always do.
Exactly.
I mean, we live life a little crazy.
I mean, you have to. Live it on the edge, man. Live it on the edge. But this is episode 155, and you guys know your host with the most, myself, J-Lo Fantastic, and the one and only Mal.
What's up?
Guys, like I said, we got a jam-packed industry news for you. I mean, everybody's been waiting on Regal to reopen. We finally got some dates for you on that in select areas for right now, but it's still exciting. A whole bunch of stuff, honestly. A whole bunch of superhero news, especially with DC, but some exciting stuff for Marvel because they just keep topping their best, honestly.
They do.
It's really exciting to see it. Awesome epicness. It's just amazing. But anyway, before we get this thing started, you guys know, be sure to head over to our website, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. We have coffee mugs, we have bandanas, we have masks, if you're still wearing masks out there, which you should, don't be a maskhole. And we have shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, all those good things. Everybody needs them, so be sure to head over to our website, start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear, and of course be sure to donate to our Patreon page, start showing some love to the guys that you love.
Yes. Oh, and hey, I've had a couple people ask me, you know, why we haven't had a guest on in the past couple weeks. Guys, we just want to stress this. We are a film production company also, and we have like numerous projects that we're in development on, and one of them that's already into pre-production. And so a lot of our focus has shifted, and we've been working on those. We're trying to balance and do everything. Don't worry. We're gonna get more guests on. We're still looking for you. We're still gonna do it. But we just wanted to give a heads up to those people that asked me because we're working on films.
Exactly.
We're writing pilots. We're doing some things. Okay, all right.
Exactly. We're not just a podcast, guys.
That's right.
A podcast. But let's get started with Regal. Man, we're super excited about this because we're members of the Regal Unlimited program.
Yes, we are.
Finally, the Cineworld Group will reopen its U.S. Regal Cinemas April 2nd. Mark your calendars.
That's next week.
Yes, that's going to be a limited release for the Godzilla vs. Kong movie, so we'll finally determine who is the best monster.
Kong bows to no one.
Whatever, we shall see.
We're having an epic battle ourselves on that one. Yes. That's going to be fun.
It's going to be great, man, and it's going to be a wider release plan for Mortal Kombat. It's following that next week. Yep. That's going to be April 16th, and the UK, the group's second biggest market, will reopen in May, according to the government guidance and everything like that. So indoor cinemas in the UK are due to reopen around May 17th, and drive-ins are going to be earlier, from April 12th. And also some exciting news for Regal and Cineworld has also signed a multi-year agreement deal with Warner Brothers, and which under this deal, it will exhibit in Cineworld cinemas in the U.S., and as of their opening beginning of 2022, Warner Brothers Pictures Group theatrical releases will have a 45-day window for theatrical releases exclusively and for certain provisions.
Now, because that's extremely important.
Yeah.
Because remember, right now, this year, they're hitting HBO Max and the theaters on the same day. And all of the theaters really hated that.
They do.
So, thankfully, Warner Media was able to work out a deal with Regal saying, okay, we know you hate that, but this year it's too late, but next year we'll give you that window. We'll give you that 45-day window. So, it'll be interesting to see if AMC, because remember, AMC didn't show a lot of the movies because they didn't want it.
But the theaters have to understand, like, the fucking distributors and the studios, they have to make their money somehow. And Warner Brothers said from the get-go, this is just a Band-Aid. This is just how we recoup our fund for this year. So, I mean, it's good to see good hope with this deal with Regal and Cineworld. So hopefully they can keep moving forward with other theatrical distribution centers like movie theaters and things like that, so they can keep moving forward. Just saying.
So let's go to it then. Will they do it with Disney?
I don't know.
Because
Probably not. Probably not.
This one I'm sure you guys saw. I tweeted, and I'm gonna stick to that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you guys missed it, Disney shifted its entire film slate release dates for this year. They've definitively locked them in. But here's the biggie. Apparently, Chapek, who was, we're going to wait until the last minute. We'll let the fans decide. We'll see where it goes. Well, apparently that was bullshit.
Yeah, literally said that last week.
Literally said that last week. And then this week announced Black Widow is moving. It's going to be May 7th. Or previously date May 7th. Now it's going to be July 9th. And it's going to be on Disney Plus and theaters on the same day. That's right. You didn't mishear me. Disney Plus behind the Premier Access window of the $30. So if you have Disney Plus, don't get too excited because you still got to pay the $30 extra fucking dollars to watch it.
Exactly.
Or go to the movie. But why would you say one thing last week and then totally shift direction this week and say we are going to put it on Disney Plus? Before we tell you the rest of the dates for all the other stuff, because like I said, they shifted the entire movie slate. I think this is... Logan and I were talking about how Chapek, we felt like he needed to make a bold move to kind of show I'm in control of Disney now. This one might be an iffy bold move in my opinion. You're taking the most profitable franchise that the company owns, the MCU, and you're putting it behind that Premier Access window, which we know theaters don't like. AMC might not even show Black Widow in the theaters because of that. Remember what they did with Raya and the Last Dragon. Will that break Marvel's streak of #1 movies? Every single MCU movie has opened at #1 all the way back to Iron Man. Will that break that streak? Will people pay the $30 to watch Black Widow? Will people sign up for it? We ran a poll and 57% to 43%. 57% said they do not want it on Disney Plus and or don't mind if it's on Disney Plus, but will not pay $30 to watch it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth right now, and like we've been talking about, is Bob Chapek really the guy that is needed at Disney at the moment? And in my opinion, I go back and think about it. Like, I want to give him hope. I want to give him faith. I want to, hopefully he can do the right thing, but all of these other people are whispering in his ear at the same time. And I mean, to your credit, yeah, a CEO should make definitive decisions despite anybody else trying to sway him either which way. But last week, after we had that conversation, I was thinking more about like the military and how basically everybody needs to fall in line. Well, when some of your soldiers don't fall in line, there's kind of going to be a little chaos, and his soldiers are not falling in line, so he's like losing control basically.
Yeah, and I feel like... That's why it's an iffy decision in my opinion, because Feige has still remained silent. It has not made a statement yet. And you guys remember back in January, Feige said he wanted no part of any of his MCU movies being on Disney Plus at the same time that they would be in theaters. He was not a fan of that. So
I know.
We'll see. I'm just going to go on the record and say, though, like I said in my tweet, I do think that this decision, whether it succeeds or fails, will define Chapek's tenure as CEO at Disney. If it succeeds, look, maybe he has a long run like Iger and Eisner did, and it'll be hugely successful. If it fails... I don't know. So we're going to see, but I do stand by that I think it's going to define his CEO tenure. I really do.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting decision, but I think it's still going to be #1, no matter what. It's a Marvel movie. Everybody loves Marvel, so no matter what, I think it's still going to be #1 at the box office.
I hope so, because that Scarlett Johansson deserves it, and I'd be pissed if not. I mean,
long awaiting. But anyway, an animated film, Luca, is going to skip theaters entirely and exclusively hit on Disney Plus June 18th. Yeah, that one, I believe, is not going to be behind the paywall, so it's going to take the whole Soul route, which is probably the best.
better
They
way,
should
yeah.
do it anyway, because the theaters are the consumers like that more because it makes more sense.
Exactly.
And,
Cruella.
Yeah.
Emma Stone. It will be behind the pay window.
It will.
And it's being moved to May 28th. So it's going to debut in theaters and on Disney Plus. So that's another one I think everybody's kind of looking forward to. That looks really cool.
Yeah, especially after that trailer dropped. Now they reorganized some other things. Now, no word yet whether these films will be on Disney Plus simultaneously or not, but they reshifted their theatrical releases. And that includes Marvel's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which now opens September 3rd, and it moves back from its July 9th date because obviously Black Widow.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds' Free Guy, everybody's been waiting on that one, now hits 3 months later than expected. It's going to be coming out August 13th. And The Kingsman, this one's been moved around all over since the merger, basically, with 21st Century Fox. That one moves back 4 months to December 22nd. That's like damn near a whole year from when it was originally supposed to come out. And now Deep Water moves to January 14th of 2022, and Death on the Nile shifts back 5 months for February 11th of 2022. So basically, all of these are moving because of Black Widow.
Yeah, and you guys, you saw it. Shang-Chi moved, right? Well, all of the Marvel movies, and if you want, we'll tweet and we'll give you the new dates, but they all shifted because of this move. The entire Marvel movie slate in Phase 4 moved. So, including Spider-Man No Way Home. It all shifted, which makes sense.
It does.
I mean, because technically Black Widow was supposed to kick off Phase 4, so I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, this comes as no surprise, and I think heavily played into Chapek's decision based on the huge success of WandaVision, and now I'm about Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think that heavily played into his decision that maybe it's okay to put Black Widow on Disney+. Apparently, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the Disney Plus's most watched series premiere ever during its opening weekend. It beat The Mandalorian and WandaVision. It was also the most watched title overall on the service worldwide. And according to Disney, the series premiere joins WandaVision and The Mandalorian as the 3 most watched series so far on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just think this is going to keep happening between Marvel and Star Wars. I mean, when all of these new exciting things pop up, more and more people are going to hear about how awesome the previous series were, so they're going to go back and watch the previous series and the new series that pops up. So I wouldn't be surprised if after Loki comes out, that's going to be the most watched.
And Hawkeye.
And
She-Hulk.
What If,
Yeah.
and all the other Star Wars stuff that's coming out, Obi-Wan, everybody's anticipated that one. So It's really exciting to see, because Disney, its dominance is still reigning high. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, and guys, you have to watch these shows because they're integral parts of Phase 4. You just heard all the movies have lined up now and when they're coming out, but if you miss these shows, you're missing shit that's launching into those movies. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Bucky, Black Cap, Patriot. Yes, I said Patriot. They're setting up the Young Avengers, guys. We saw Wiccan and Speed, right, in WandaVision. We know that Kate Bishop is coming in Hawkeye. Now we've got Isaiah, who Patriot. So, I mean, they're guys, you can't miss these shows.
Right?
I'm just telling you.
Now, some exciting things, which is crazy because this show hasn't even hit the streaming service yet. But Hawkeye, the series that is coming to Disney Plus, may already have a spinoff in the works. Now, a show that's going to be centered on Echo, a deaf Native American character who will be played by Aqua Cox in the Hawkeye series, is in early stages of development for Disney Plus. Ethan Cohen and Emily Cohen are attached to write and executive produce the show, and the writer's room recently being assembled. Echo, whose real name is Maya Lopez, has the ability to perfectly copy another person's movements or fighting styles, making her formidable for an opponent in a battle. So that's super epic. And in the Marvel Comics, Echo crosses paths with characters like Daredevil, Moon Knight, and the Avengers. So, I mean, this is going to be the first person to hold a title of Ronin before passing it on to Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye in the comics.
Yep. And so this is exciting news. And I mean, you mentioned Moon Knight, and she does definitely cross paths with Moon Knight in the comic books. But the one I'm paying attention to is Daredevil.
Yeah.
Because she had epic showdowns with Daredevil, and this gives me hope that we're going to see Daredevil get his own series on Disney Plus. Feige has hinted that he's fine with it being dark and violent, and kind of he's cool with that. And now that they're introducing Echo, I mean that's some serious hope. Maybe she'll show up here. She'll show up in Moon Knight. And then Daredevil?
Right.
Come on.
Badass.
It would be so bad. By the way, guys, why is she showing up in Hawkeye? Because if you're not familiar, if you're not a comic book geek, Hawkeye goes deaf. And so it only makes sense that a deaf, would show up.
Exactly.
Kind of maybe train him. Since she was Ronin first, it only makes sense. This next one. This has long been gestating. Will it, won't it, will it, won't it? Well, apparently it will. The only question now is, will it have Nicolas Cage? Disney Plus has greenlit a series based on the National Treasure movie franchise. Let's see, from writers Cormac and Marion Wibberley, who wrote the screenplays to the two Nicolas Cage movies, so that makes sense. Jerry Bruckheimer's coming on to produce it, and it's going to follow a new set of characters and reimagine the franchise through the eyes of the lead character, a 20-year-old dreamer named Jess Morales. Maria Nair is attached to direct. The series is going to explore the ideas of identity, community, patriotism, and who gets to write history as Jess and a diverse group of friends embark on an adventure to uncover mysterious family history and recover lost treasure. Now, okay, so new characters, new vision, reimagine, new story. But that doesn't mean Nick can't make an appearance, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like if you're doing National Treasure, you got to at least have him make an appearance.
Yeah, the writer and director, they both said that they wish that the third film and the show would come out simultaneously around the same time. So possibly, maybe, that would be really epic. But what I really like about this is the main character is going to be a dreamer with all that stuff going down at the border, especially someone who's coming into the country or born into this country whose parents may have not have been from here, but still have such an appreciation for the United States of America and where we live and honor their traditions and values and all that good stuff.
And just another solid sign of Disney's effort for diversity.
Yeah.
The Iger implemented it, and it has been moving, and they're doing an outstanding job with it, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
You want this one?
So excited, because the Greek freak Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Hell!
Maybe, I don't know. The movie has found its three leads. Newcomer Archie Agda will star as the NBA great in the film, two-time MVP back-to-back. The role will mark Agda's on-screen debut. He auditioned after seeing the screen grab on Instagram of the announcement about an open casting call on Giannis's Twitter, actually. So that's really freaking cool.
Right?
I mean, you see how freaking easy it is to actually audition and cast or audition for a role. So, I mean, all you up-and-comers out there, you better be listening.
That's right.
Better be listening.
Follow everybody on Twitter.
Exactly. It's super freaking exciting, man. Yetide Bhakti is also joining the film as Vera, who is Giannis's mother, and while Deo Akintini will play Charles, who is his father. The film is still being developed by Walt Disney Studios, obviously, and it's going on to Disney Plus. At what time yet? Who knows, because it's still in very early development. But It's really exciting, guys. It's really exciting.
And so this only makes sense with all of the excitement happening at Disney Plus, right? All of the surge in subscribers, all of these huge shows. Oh, we didn't even mention Mighty Ducks Game Changers debuted too. I'm curious to see how Falcon and Winter Soldier's episode 2 numbers are, because Mighty Ducks debuted on the same day.
Right.
Check that shit out too. If you're a Lauren Graham fan, don't miss it. Fucking phenomenal. You guys will love it. But anyway, with all of the excitement, all these new shows, all the stuff, you got to pay for all that, right? So Disney Plus is hiking the price.
They are.
It's still the cheapest by far out of all of the streamers, though. They're upping it by $1. As of yesterday, Disney Plus will be priced in the U.S. at $7.99 per month. So the bundle's now $13.99 a month, and that's the ad-free one. I think it's like $20 plus if you do. I mean, with the ads, the ad-free one I think is like $20-something. But that's still a great price: $7.99 a month and $13.99 a month. I mean, that's nothing, guys.
For three streaming services.
Yeah, when you think about what Netflix is for one streaming service, you get 3 for $13.99. It's badass. We have it and we love it.
It's true.
So, and don't get mad about it. It's $1, okay? It's $1, but you're getting all these epic things on there. It only makes sense, right? You got to pay for that stuff. So
Agreed. Oh man, Rebecca Waskotsky and Megan Faye have been tapped for recurring roles in Dope Sick. This one we just keep talking about. Buddy Danny Strong doing some things.
I mean,
man.
seriously.
They joined series regulars Michael Keaton, Caitlin Deaver, Peter Skarsgård, Will Poulter, Rosario Dawson, and so many more, guys. I mean, it's really exciting. But the limited series is set to premiere this year on Hulu, but the streamer has not yet set a release date, but we all know it's going to be great.
Oh, yeah. I feel like Danny Strong and then the guys over at HBO Max with the Showtime Lakers series, they're just competing as to who can cast the most epic A-listers in their series, because it seems like every week we're talking about these two shows are putting people on there that are like, holy shit!
Yeah.
Just want to briefly mention this because this might have, if anybody caught this story, I did, and it worried me a little bit. Michael Keaton, who's the star of Dope Sick, maybe kind of hinted that the old Batman Returns in The Flash might not happen.
Oh, shit.
He said that he's still waiting on the final script and that he's extremely busy right now with Dope Sick, so he's not even sure if the scheduling will be able to allow it. And his main concern is that they're filming it over in the UK, and he's scared to death of COVID and how that situation will play out. And so he has maybe not fully committed to the Flash movie. Damn. I saw that just in reference to the Dope Sick thing because he mentioned how busy he was with the upcoming Dope Sick and everything. I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, right.
So we'll keep an eye on that, guys. That's not good news.
Warner Brothers, get your shit together.
That's right. If he needs to film it here, you fucking film it here. Don't fuck that up, man. That'd be like badass. Speaking of badass, Ryan Murphy. How badass is this dude? He's unveiled the title for the latest American Horror Story season. He posted it on his Instagram. See why it's important to follow fucking social media? You gotta follow social media. Casting calls, fucking announcements for titles, everything's there. He added another clue to his trail of hints about the upcoming American Horror Story Season 10. The title, Double Feature. The eerie video of waves crashing into a shore red. Too horrifying. I can't even...
Coffee. Just break.
2 horrifying stories, 1 season. That sounds interesting, right? Like, where are we going with that? But if we all know it's going to be epic, Ryan Murphy, I mean, it's going to be... I just go back. I've been a longtime fan since Nip Tuck.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is just brilliant and twisted.
Yeah.
Which is why he's brilliant.
Well, I'm very interested, too, because each season is kind of like standalone story arcs. So I'm wondering if these 2 stories somehow intertwined or somehow have the same character. So that'd be very interesting because American Horror Story is super known for that. So we shall see, man. We shall see.
Most definite.
Ian Noel has been cast as Danny Freeman as a protagonist in the FX adaptation of Sam Green's spy novel, The Spook Who Sat by the Door, which is being executive produced by Lee Daniels. The project is in pilot production at the Premium Cabler. Spook is a fictional Freeman, or the fictional Freeman is the first black CIA officer hired by the agency in the late 1960s, who is trained in a high-level combat espionage, and he is described as a patriot, a Vietnam vet, secretly a black revolutionary. So, super exciting about that.
See, more diversity.
Exactly.
More diversity.
That's what we need.
Yep. Sticking with FX and Disney, they're taking another hit at Snowfall. The network renewed the 1980s set drug drama for a 5th season this past week. The news came midway through season 4, which is airing on the network right now. The show is up, get this is probably why it got renewed, 41% in total viewers from its previous season to an average of 5.1 million total viewers per episode, which, guys, is huge on FX. I mean, that's huge numbers. Now, lately, it's huge numbers on any broadcast network because the streamers are kicking their ass. So,
did you see the Kirk Boville's wife was supposed to be on it, but then like the director personally called her and was like, "Hey, sorry, we had to cut the scene out." And that's part of acting, man. Like sometimes your scene gets cut out, but she did get paid though. She made sure to mention that. It's like that's really all that matters. So
it's true.
I mean, it is what it is. It's Hollywood. It's a business, and you can't take it personally. And she had a really positive outlook on it, so good for her. But yeah, Snowfall, great series. Be sure to check it out on FX and Hulu next day. And now Meanwhile, Jane Lynch has been cast in a role in ABC's multi-camera comedy pilot, Bucktown. Lynch joins the previously announced cast members Shannon Woodward and Nicole Richie. Lynch's character, Helen, is described as rough around the edges and salty as hell, but the most loyal woman you'll ever meet.
So she's playing herself.
Yeah, exactly. That's very funny, man. I'm excited to see her because she's a great actress. I love watching her work.
And she's making a nice little resurgence lately,
Yeah.
you know, because she kind of disappeared for a little bit, but now, yeah, I'm super pumped about that. See, because when we talk, people listen.
It's true.
Right? We asked last week, we were wondering, now that they're making all these casting announcements for the Wonder Years, who's going to narrate, right? I mean, who's going to, well, now we know, guys. Don Cheadle. How awesome is that, Don Cheadle? As you guys know, and now they're adding more people to it. It looks like Milan Ray, Julia Lerner, and Amari O'Neil are joining the Wonder Years reboot. They're going to join, obviously, Elijah Williams, who's going to play Dean Williams, the new Kevin. And like I said, Don Cheadle is going to do the narration because you can't have Wonder Years without the old guy narrating the story, right?
Exactly.
So I think that's a perfect choice. Keeps him in the Disney family.
I agree.
And awesome. Congrats, Don. And thanks for listening and telling us.
Exactly, right? Super exciting. Man, it's going off the air. There's no way they go past this season. If they do, I'd be super surprised because this last week's episode was shit. Shyler Lee,
Whoa.
a.k.a. Lexi Gray, is coming back to Grey's Anatomy for a guest spot. No doubt it's going to be like the dream sequence.
On the Magic Beach.
Or the heaven sequence on the Magic Beach. I mean, Dempsey's been there. George's been there. Lexi. So, I mean, you know, it is what it is. Sarah Drew, we announced the past a few weeks ago that was coming back. That episode has still not aired. So we've been kind of like, what the fuck is going on? But, yeah, like I said, Grey should probably end this year, but we'll see what happens. Krista Vernoff, listen to what we're saying. Please do, because it's long overdue, honestly.
I
At
don't
least
know.
2 seasons.
I don't know. I saw, and we'll talk about it. Krista Vernoff signed a big new deal with ABC,
She did.
and from what I understand, she kind of hinted in that interview that ABC is in talks right now for a huge payday for Ellen. Why would you even be negotiating a huge payday for Ellen unless you were trying to bring her back for another season?
Well, hopefully in a producer role, because now she is a producer on
Yeah.
Grey's. So
Yeah.
hopefully they move somewhere else. Because, bro, it's not good right now. It's like some episodes, like it's reminiscent of the older ones where it was like such an epic hit. But now it's just kind of like, what the fuck?
Hey, there's always the Good Doctor and the Resident. The Resident,
Good Doctor.
the Resident, and the Good Doctor. I love them both.
Yes.
Yeah. Rebecca Rittenhouse has landed the title role in ABC's comedy pilot Maggie. This is interesting. The single-camera comedy follows a young woman who tries to cope with life while coming into terms with her abilities as a psychic. She can see everyone's future, but her present is a mess. So she can't see her own, apparently. Due to her psychic gift, she's intensely sensitive and gets a pummeling assault of energy from every person around her. As a result, she has to put up emotional walls to protect herself. So, kind of like Zoe's, except for not hearing it in song, she's going to like see their futures kind of a thing.
psychic,
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, maybe Disney's trying to capitalize on that because they see that NBC's been moving it to like 3 different nights a
That's
week.
right.
So they're like, if it's
Which
not
is
doing
never
well,
a good sign. NBC, don't
Yeah.
you fuck with us. Don't you take Zoe's away, goddammit.
Took Council of Dads. Don't
That's
do
right.
this.
Zoe's is too epic to do it.
Goodness gracious. Sherry Shepard has boarded the ABC comedy pilot Black Don't Crack, and she is set to star and produce. Shepard will play Angela Wright, a native New Yorker who is somewhere between 45 and death. She is a single mom who put aside her musical dreams to raise her son after her husband died. She has been holding it down alone for years, taking care of her family instead of herself. When she is confronted with a personal crisis, she reunites with her sorority sisters to recapture her passion, ambition, and sisterhood of their college glory days. Now, this is created by writer and producer Regina Hicks. Viola Davis and Julia Tennant will executive produce this project. via Vuji Productions, and Larry Wilmore supervising and executive producing with Wilmore Films. So, I mean, it's backed by some great people, and I love Sherry Shepherd. She's basically like on everything, like Mr. Iglesias, Drake and Josh. Like, she's great. So, I would love to see her in a leading role. She deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. All right, that was some good Disney stuff.
It
But
was.
we can't do Disney without the bunny, right? We can't. We got to jump to Warner Media. Dear Warner Media Studios, Warner Brothers Studios CEO Ann Sarnoff, she said that Snyder is done. The Justice League Snyder Cut will end his run, complete the director's trilogy, reinforcing the studio's desire to move past the social media campaign to hand back the universe to Snyder. I'm not so sure about that one. Apparently right now they're kind of pissed at Zack Snyder for doing all of the interviews and promoting the shit out of the Snyder Cut and saying that he's not actually done, that he's got 2 more Justice League movies, and they're not okay with that. Apparently she wants to just keep moving forward. But here's the thing, they don't like to bow down. They felt like they had to bow down to the fans for the Snyder Cut,
Sure.
and now they don't want to bow down to the restore the Snyderverse. But, guys, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Shazam, Black Adam, they all take place in the Snyderverse. That DCEU was established by Zack Snyder. You don't have Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman or Momoa's Aquaman without fucking Zack Snyder. So, Sarnoff,
Like, listen.
hello, you
listen.
guys. I mean, let him fix the shit. Let it play out. Look how popular the Snyder Cut was.
Yeah.
I mean, and you guys barely promoted it, and yet it's probably, most likely, the most watched superhero event on streaming ever. So, guys, you got to pay attention to it. I just think we were talking about, CEO Bob Chapek's defining moment and how his tenure would. Well, how will her tenure as the CEO of Warner Brothers Studios play out if she ignores the fans with the Snyderverse?
Right.
I'm just saying, you got to be smart.
Exactly. And I mean, of course he's going to promote it. It was his baby. Like,
Ex-
he's been talking about it for like a year and a
Exactly.
half and hinting at it. No shit, he's going to promote it.
Yeah, and don't we want to talk about baby? Don't we want to see the baby?
Yeah.
His latest promotion is that the reason that Clark calmed down when they're all fighting outside of the memorial when he first comes back is that he sensed that Lois was pregnant when she walked up, and that's what calmed him. Snyder said that. You keep spilling stuff, Snyder. You
Yeah,
go.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
And did
That's
you
all I'm
see
saying.
that instead of Martian Manhunter at the end, it was supposed to be Green Lantern, but Warner Brothers was like, no, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Fucking shitty.
And not just Green Lantern. It was supposed to be Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Fixed. None of that bullshit version. Snyder was going to give us Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
It would have been. I'm just thinking
He
about it
keeps
going,
hinting-
oh.
Yeah, he keeps hinting at shit. And he probably has some of that footage. Like,
Oh, I mean, come on now. I mean,
I know. Anyway, Emerald Fennell, Oscar-nominated director of Promising Young Woman, super epic, super successful, has been tapped to write Zatanna, the big screen adaptation of the DC Comics heroine. And this movie from Warner Brothers DC Films is set to release theatrically. J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot is producing it through his overall deal with Warner Brothers. And the upcoming DC Extended Universe installment will be
Snyderverse.
Zatanna's first franchise appearance. She is known for her involvement with the Justice League, though the character has never appeared in any DC movie ever. So, it's gonna
but
be
she
very
did
interesting.
appear on small screen. There was an appearance of her on Smallville. She was played on one episode of Smallville. That's interesting,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. I think this is Zatanna, if you're not a comic book geek, mystic arts, spells, magic, DC's version of Scarlet Witch, but not nearly as powerful.
Yeah.
Not near. Whoever they get to play her, whoever they're gonna, better be able to freaking speak and speak well, because Zatanna casts all her spells by speaking backwards.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Good luck with that. Can you even imagine trying to write the script for that? Having to write all that shit
No,
backwards?
that'd be
Like,
wild.
oh my gosh. That's not it though. We told you a lot of DC news. Helen Mirren Yes, the Queen. Helen Mirren has closed a deal to play the villain Hespera, the daughter of Atlas in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. How awesome is that? So that's good casting, right? Helen Mirren. I mean, as a villain, she's so awesome. I love her. She's
exactly. Well, I mean, more casting announcements like that. I mean, I feel like Scorsese should be like, okay, these are films. This is an Oscar-winning actress, like fucking being a big baddie in the DC universe. So. Just saying, they're films. Ron Livingston, best known personally from Office Space, has been cast in The Flash, and he will portray his father. He'll portray the Flash's father.
You need some coffee?
Yeah, I'm getting some. He's replacing Billy Crudup because obviously recently departing the picture because of scheduling conflicts with the morning show, which makes sense.
It does, absolutely. But that's not it. We're not done. Nope. How do you battle Marvel's Sherlock as Doctor Strange, epic Benedict Cumberbatch, right? In the DC universe, what do? Well, Bond. You hire Bond.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. Dr. Fate, the mystic guy from DC's universe, the badass with the golden helmet and everything, right? Well, Pierce Brosnan has been picked to play Dr. Fate opposite Dwayne Johnson in Black Adam. So they're just building that Justice Society, y'all. They're building that Justice Society. It's headed towards an April start, so it should start filming next week, which is pretty badass. Obviously, details being kept under wraps. I think this is a brilliant choice, though. Pierce Brosnan to play Dr. Fate is on level with Benedict as Doctor Strange. I'm just saying.
I agree.
Good choice.
I agree.
Dwayne Johnson, he's making sure that shit is
right. He's like, this is actually happening this time.
He's been gestating this baby for about 30 years now, so he's like, it's going to be fucking right.
Exactly. And we were talking about this on previous shows before because everybody knows Christopher Nolan fucking hated the idea of simultaneously releasing films on HBO Max and theatrical releasing. So we're like, is Tenet ever going to be put on HBO Max? Well, the answer is yes. They have announced that it's going to be hitting the platform May 1st. Most recently, it became available in several New York City theaters this month as a re-release. So yeah, May 1st, you'll be able to check it out, which I'm excited about because I haven't seen it yet, and that's definitely one that I want to check out. But I'm surprised it's going on there at all because Nolan was pretty fucking pissed. So.
Agreed. And maybe that's the appeasement of why they re-released it in New York.
Yeah.
You know, just like, oh shit, we're about to put it on the streamer. Just give them some more theatrical.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. More casting news for, like we said, the battling Lakers Showtime. Dope sick. Lakers Show every time, right? Bo Berman has been cast. And you knew this was coming because they started casting a bunch of the Celtics, right? You knew this was coming. Bo Berman has been cast as Boston Celtics star Larry Bird. Can you do anything about the Lakers in the 80s without Larry Bird and the Celtics? Right? You can't. So, still untitled, because I don't want to call it Showtime, as we talked about. I also saw that Sarah Ramos, remember the daughter from Parenthood? She has recently signed on also. So, They just keep adding people over and over, man. This thing is getting epic.
Yeah, that's an interesting casting choice, because, I mean, everybody knows before he became, like, a writer-director and actor, like, super serious drama actor, he was a comedian, and he was super fucking goofy. So, interesting casting choice. I would be really, like, intrigued to see how he will portray.
Does he do pratfalls well? Maybe because, like, when Magic,
who fucking knows?
Like, dicks him all the time. Like,
he
falls really well. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm sorry. No disrespect to Bird.
No disrespect. Warner Brothers has also announced that an October 22nd release date for Clint Eastwood's latest movie, Cry Macho. Set in 1978, Eastwood plays a one-time rodeo star, washed-up horse breeder who takes a job from his ex-boss to bring the young man's son back home. We've talked about this before. So
now we know you can see it.
Now you know you can see it. And how many more movies will we expect to see from Clint Eastwood? Probably at least 50.
I think Clint Eastwood will die on set.
Probably.
I think that's true. I think this man will work until he literally drops dead. He's just passionate about what he does.
It's true.
It's great. And now, in the biggest non-surprise in Hollywood, from the CW's Batwoman has cast Wallace Day to take over the role of Kate Kane, that, of course, you guys know Ruby Rose originally held and walked away from. In season 1, as revealed at the end of last week's episode. Did you guys watch it? The character of Kane was revealed to be alive yet unrecognizable due to injuries she sustained in a plane crash. And she was shown bandaged up because that's how they always do reveals when it's a new actor, right? Like,
Exactly.
Leslie, guys, you guys know, remember, Leslie plays Ryan Wilder, who took over the superhero, Javisa Leslie, of course. She's not going anywhere. She is still going to be Batwoman. Will Kate Kane, put on the cowl also? Will there be two We don't know. They're not disclosing, but they did say that, don't worry, Javisha's not going anywhere. She's still going to be the character. And the reason I said biggest non-surprise is because if you guys remember, Wallace Day was on Krypton, and from the get-go when they announced that a Batwoman series was coming, fans wanted her to be Batwoman. It was like the go-to fan casting, and it didn't happen. So it doesn't surprise me that now when they're going to recast her, they would go with who the fans wanted in the first place.
Yeah, it makes sense, too, because the whole season 2, they've been hinting at that Kate was still alive, and they're trying to find her. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. But, yeah, Ryan's not going anywhere, which I'm super freaking excited about.
Yep.
So awesome. This, by no surprise, since fucking HBO has multiple fucking things of Game of Thrones in development. George R.R. Martin, the author behind Game of Thrones and all those other amazing things.
Who that guy is?
That guy right there. Signs an overall deal with HBO for 5 years. So he'll be developing projects for HBO and HBO Max. Like I said, no surprise. You got 5 Game of Thrones projects alone that they are developing at the moment. And he's got other stuff that's completely not Game of Thrones that he is also working on.
Facts.
So it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yep, and 5 seems to be the lucky number, guys, because Hollywood's golden girl right now, Issa Rae, she's sticking with HBO also, and she's re-upped her commitment by inking a new 5-year deal with that Hooray Media label in partnership with Warner Media. The pact gives HBO, HBO Max, and Warner Brothers Television exclusive rights to Issa's work in TV, plus a first-look film deal that spans Warner Media's brands, including Warner Brothers Pictures, New Line, and HBO Max. She had previously signed on for a 2-year deal, but that wasn't good enough, so now it's 5.
Makes sense. Make freaking 6. Peter Bronsgart has signed an exclusive multi-year cross-studio overall deal with Warner Brothers Animation and Cartoon Network Studios. He will develop and produce original content, animated programming for a variety of audiences, including preschool kids, adult and family co-viewing, so family content. And under the terms of the pact, he is currently serving as an executive producer on HBO Max series The Looney Tunes cartoons. He'll be allowed flexibility to develop material for all Warner Media platforms as well as external outlets and services, which is a pretty good back-end deal because you can work with other things. And he will also have access to extensive characters and franchise libraries at both studios. So go him.
And that is extensive. Those libraries are huge.
Exactly.
So, yeah, nice. Okay, so we've been talking all about Disney's diversity, right? And move towards diversity and move towards culture and like stuff. Well, Warner Brothers got to keep up, right? The bunny's got to keep up with the mouse. Well, Warner Brothers Television Group's established an exclusive creative partnership and overall deal with Dr. Philip Atiba Goff. Now, he's the Hulvin Professor of African American Studies at Yale University and the Center for Policing Equity co-founder and CEO. What does he do? Well, he aims to identify and reduce causes of racial disparity in public safety and advocates for scalable change. So that's their guy. This is going to be their diversity guy. The deal with Goff underscores the studio's ongoing commitment to creating and entertaining exclusive programming that reflects the cultural diversity of our country and inspires more just society through the power of storytelling. There you go. You got to keep it up. Good job, Warner, for keeping up and for doing it, because we all know you've had some trouble.
Exactly. Heading over to Viacom CBS, they announced this week that it plans to sell $3 billion worth of stock. The company said it has plans to use the funds from the stock sales for investments and streaming, which makes sense among other general corporate purposes. Following the announcement, shares of Viacom CBS were down about 4% in the after-hours trading after closing regular trading 3% of the day. So the stock has more than doubled in price at the beginning of 2021. Last year's Viacom CBS spent about $15 billion company-wide on content, including sports rights, which is crazy. And by 2024, the media conglomerate expects to spend around $5 billion on streaming content, some of which include the cost of content for both linear television and streaming. And I mean, but NBC also came out with a thing this week that said, obviously, everything needs to be focused on streaming because that's where it's going. Linear television is dying. People are cutting the cord. So, I mean, it's time, man. It's time to be thinking of original streaming content. So, this is what's happening, even if you're spending a shit ton of money.
Yeah. and you know why they're all spending a shit ton of money? Because they're all like a decade behind.
It's true.
They're trying to catch up. Netflix, to Ted and Reed's, credit, they knew 20 years ago where it was going, and now you got to try to, catch up. Disney's catching up pretty fucking quick, though.
Right.
Just saying. Hey, you know what's always been a good thing for CBS, though? In linear television? Survivor. But it hasn't been so good lately because it's continuously keep getting shut down due to COVID, right? But not anymore. Jeff Probst announced that they're finally, with season 41, I can't even believe that, is finally heading back into production. He revealed that the team is heading back to Fiji to start shooting a year after they originally thought to do so. The team. Not him, because he got that giant-ass mansion in Fiji.
Yeah, he's like, I live there.
He just stay on the fucking island where they all do it now. They're like, okay, Jeff. Like, how many shirts does Jeff have?
Oh.
He's got that same blue shirt, but he's got like 5,000 of them.
It's true.
I think.
It's true.
That's 41 seasons he's had that blue shirt for all. He's got to have more than one. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Exactly. But it's good to see because, as we all know, season 40 got cut short because of the pandemic and everything like that. So it's good to see it go back.
And it's still fun to watch.
It is.
I mean, it is.
It is. True Lies, which has been given a pilot order at CBS last month, is moving off cycle to give producers more time to produce the film and pilot for this summer. This version of True Lies is the second endeavor at adapting the film into a television series after Fox handed the project and put the pilot commitment in 2017. So everything's up in the air with that one as well. Everybody needs some time to put more development process into it. So it makes sense. It makes sense.
Absolutely. This one, in the biggest story of irony in our industry news segment this week, Greg Spottiswoode, the creator and co-showrunner of All Rise, has been fired after a probe into his professional conduct brought on by allegations of racial insensitivity and a writer's room revolt.
Yeah.
This was the second investigation into Spottiswoode due to racially insensitive comments. 5 of the original 7 members of the All Rise writing staff left the show because of his treatment of them and the way the show under his direction depicted race and gender. Now, this is a guy who created a show about a black judge put on the bench who was struggling not to put her own personal feelings and bias into these type cases in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Why would you create a show like that and then not depict the race in the proper way or have racist problems in your writer's room? What the fuck were you thinking when you created the show? Like, I don't know.
I know.
The original co-showrunner left because of all that. She was one of the people that left. And the new showrunner, the co-showrunner that was brought in, is now going to take over the show.
It makes sense.
So, yeah, and because it's great right now. They're not depicting anything stupid. They're touching serious storylines with serious ramifications about what's happening in society today. So it's on the right direction. It's on the right path. One of the best shows on television. Good move, CBS. Good move.
Check it out. Check it out. Now, this next one's very interesting because everybody knows cancel culture, but apparently cancel culture can be reversed. Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out is returning to VH1 next month with new episodes featuring a number of new guests. Set to return Tuesday, April 6th. The improv rap battle show picks up with new episodes on the second half of season 15, which was shot pre-pandemic. Now, this comes after Cannon was the subject of backlash after he made anti-Semitic comments in July of 2020 on his podcast. Following a social media outcry, Viacom CBS parted ways with Cannon firing the Wildin' Out host. But apparently they've made some amends and he's coming back, which, I mean, he's very strong-willed and very opinionated, which I'm surprised that he was brought back. to be honest.
Me too.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll keep his nose clean, but we shall see, man. We shall see.
You know we will. We'll always follow it.
Exactly.
CBS is developing Black Magic, a single-camera comedy from Party Over Here, the production company founded by the Lonely Island's Andy Samberg. Vika Schaefer and Jorma Taccone, the project is being described as a power dynamic in a family of overachievers is upended when the runt of the family discovers a new talent. The thing that will challenge them and also bring them together is her black girl magic. Now, I'm glad it was a female character that's going to get it, because if they don't use Black Magic Woman as the theme song, epic fail. I mean, come on, guys. All right, I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Magic Woman.
Oh my goodness. Oscar nominee Naomi Harris has signed on to Showtime's sci-fi limited series, The Man Who Fell from Earth. The Moonlight and Skyfall actress will play a brilliant scientist and engineer who must conquer her own demons and race to save two worlds. The project is based on a novel by Walter Tevis and the 1976 film who starred David Bowie. And this version will follow a new alien character who arrives on Earth at a turning point in human evolution and must confront his own past to determine our future.
Ooh.
Yeah, right? I mean, sci-fi is becoming more and more popular recently.
It is.
So it makes sense that this is happening.
It does. It definitely does. So now, we know we've got Law & Order Organized Crime coming, right? So if Dick Wolf adds a show to his Law & Order universe, he's got to keep things balanced, right? So on the CBS side, hey, NBC or CBS is like, Dick? Well, Dick says, no problem. I'm going to add a series to my FBI family. So, FBI franchise is growing. CBS has renewed the hit Mothership series FBI for a 4th season, FBI Most Wanted for a 3rd season, and now, to keep things balanced in the Dick Wolf world, they've given a series order to FBI International. The 3rd iteration of the successful FBI brand for the next coming season. FBI International, which we previously reported had been in the works, is scheduled to debut in a crossover episode of FBI and FBI Most Wanted next season.
Nice.
Because that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You do these crossover episodes. That's how it works, guys.
I feel like he's the king and creator of crossovers, though.
Dude, he's got the Chicago franchise, the Law & Order franchise, the FBI franchise. This guy is fucking killing it,
right?
Y'all. Like, I mean, Dick Wolf.
Absolutely. Everywhere, man. Oh, I'm so excited about this next one because, first of all, it's a very exciting film. I'm talking about the Steven Spielberg inspired him as a young boy, all that good stuff. Well, now one of my favorite actors, Seth Rogen, is going to be starring in this as well. Rogen will take on the role of Spielberg's favorite uncle in the untitled film. As we mentioned a couple weeks ago, Michelle Williams is in talks to play a major part as well. The search is underway to find young actors of multiple ages around to round out the cast, with one of them playing the role of the role of the main character inspired by Spielberg.
Right.
I'm very excited about this because just to learn a little bit more about these amazing filmmakers' backstory, it's just great.
That's right. That's right. And it reunites Michelle Williams and Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Who previously worked on, if I had my IMDb Pro app open right now, I could tell you, but they previously worked on a film together that I watched and loved and can't think of it.
Can't think
I
of
need
it.
more caffeine.
Yes.
I'll get back to you with the name. But I'm good because they're great together and I love that. Hey, did you ever wonder what happened to Neil Melendez, right? Good Doctor, right? What's he going to do? What's the actor going to do afterwards, right? Well, Nicholas Gonzalez, who played the beloved Neil, he's going to be okay, guys. He's been tapped to co-star opposite Ian McKellen, Natalie Z, and John Cena in NBC's Sci-Fi, because we just told you it's kicking butt right now. Their new sci-fi drama, La Brea, also cast as a series regular in the project, which is a straight-to-series order. La Brea, written by David Applebaum, is about a massive sinkhole that mysteriously opens in Los Angeles. It tears a family in half, separating mother, Zia, and son, Martin, from father, McKinn, and daughter, Gorecki, when part of the family find themselves in an unexplainable primeval world alongside disparate group of strangers. Oh.
Very interesting.
Oh, yeah, and I'm a huge fan of Natalie Z, so this is going to be an epic series. I can't watch more series, damn
I know, you got so many.
But I will be.
Many. Exactly. And it's Take the Waltz.
Yes.
That takes this waltz.
Yes, such a great fucking movie about he's a cook and like it's just so good. If you haven't checked it out, watch it. Then you'll be excited about the two of them reuniting.
Yes.
Good job.
Thank you, IMDb Pro. NBC has renewed Mr. Mayor there for its second season.
No surprise.
This series opened with solid numbers on its Thursday night, which was January 7th, representing the network's best Thursday comedy launch in total viewers, 6.6 million in live plus 7 since the premiere of Will and Grace revival back in 2017. So it makes sense, man. It makes sense. Everybody loves Ted Danson.
Absolutely, absolutely. In this week's episode of Why in this industry, we're going to Sony for this week's Why. Sony Pictures has set a movie based on Bewitched. Yep, you heard me right.
It's happening.
Terry Matalas and Travis Fickett, who ran the MacGyver and 12 Monkeys series, will write the script. It's a jumping off point from the original TV show in which witch marries in which witch, not the sandwich place, but in which a witch marries an advertising exec and then tries to hide her powers and her crazy relatives who drop in often. Now, they've already done a remake with Nicole Kidman and Will Ferrell.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Didn't do very well. No. So why are we attempting this? Is this yet again? They saw WandaVision and were like, fuck, that works really well. People loved it. Let's do this. No, Sony. No.
Not happening.
Plus, do you want to tread on Disney? You don't want?
No.
They're going to fucking take Spider-Man. I'm just saying, don't fuck with them.
They're just going to buy you.
You want to keep that deal? Don't do this. I'm just saying.
They're just going to buy you.
They are. They're like, fuck you. You don't give them back, we buy you.
Exactly. Well, MGM, they have also got them theatrical delays this week.
Oh.
MGM and Miramax's Guy Ritchie-directed action thriller Wrath of Man is moving to May 7th to 9th weekend, which is already recently given up by the Disney Marvel Black Widow. The Wrath of Man was previously dated for April 23rd, so COVID.
Yeah.
So we'll
but
see.
It makes sense. You got to plug something now that Black Widow ain't going to be there, right?
Exactly.
Let's see. Jumping over to Lionsgate, Samara Weaving, who made heads explode with her breakout turn in horror hit Ready or Not, is taking a comedic turn this time, closing a deal to star opposite Eugenio Derbez in Lionsgate's English language remake of the French film The Valet. Richard Wong, who helmed the well-regarded road trip comedy Come As You Are, will direct, and Weaving will play a movie star who enlists a parking valet named Antonio to pose as her lover to cover for a relationship with a married man. Oh, sounds like all kinds of trouble.
Right? That's a lot happening, man. That's a lot happening.
I bet she really falls for the valet.
I bet she does.
Leaves the married man and is like,
Calling it now. Oh, man. Well, heading over to the streaming juggernaut itself, Netflix. Keanu Reeves will star and produce both a live-action film and an animated series adaptation of his Boom! The studio's comic series, Berserker. For Netflix. The new project will be an expansion on a 12-episode limited series, which originated from the idea of Reeves has been developing for a number of years. Berserker is pronounced Berserker, and is described as a brutally epic saga about a more immortal warrior about 80,000 year fight through the ages. The man known as B, who is going to be played by Reeves, is half mortal and half god, cursed and compelled to create violence, basically, even at the sacrifice of his sanity. But after wandering the earth for centuries, B may have finally found a refuge working for the U.S. government to fight the battles that are too violent and too dangerous for anyone else. In exchange, B will be granted the one thing he desires, the truth about his endless blood-soaked existence and how it will end. I mean, I can't imagine if you just want to die at some point. I've lived through so much drama, I can only imagine.
I thought you were going to finally tell me that he finally realized he was connected to the Matrix. This is all just fake. It's all just unplug that shit. No,
He would be the one to figure it out.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah. I know Kung Fu. Yeah. Now he's going to be half mortal, half god. Like, how's that going to go? I am half god. That's going to be great. I love Keanu.
I do too.
Speaking of great, another phenomenal actor who I love, Forrest Whitaker, is joining Tom Hardy in the upcoming Netflix crime drama film. Tom Hardy cannot get away from crime drama, can he? This guy is all about it. Havoc. In Havoc, after a drug deal gone wrong, a bruised detective must fight his way through a criminal underworld to rescue a politician's estranged son while unraveling a deep web of corruption and conspiracy that ensnares his entire city. That actually sounds pretty fucking good, though.
Right.
And it's Forrest Whitaker and Tom Hardy. I'm in.
I could see it. I could see it.
I'm in.
Oh, well, Netflix's huge show right now, The Witcher, has added 7 new cast members for season 2. Joining the second season are Ajo Endo as Naiki, Cassie Clare as Philippa Elkhart, and Liz Carr as Finn, Graham McTavish as Degestra, and Kevin Doyle as Balayan, Simone Cowell as... There's so many crazy names in this show, man.
Yeah.
You guys get the point. You guys get the point.
The easy one was Henry Cavill as Witcher.
Yep, there it is. That's the one that matters.
That's the only one that matters. Speaking of, though, this show is so popular that it's getting a prequel spin-off. The Witcher Blood Origin, Netflix's prequel to the hit, like I just said, has locked in its second leading actor, Irish actor Lawrence O'Farrane, whose credits, I guess I should have said it Irish instead of whatever that was.
Yeah,
I just
right?
said. I don't know. Oh, yeah, you betcha. Lawrence Farine. Whose credits include Vikings, Game of Thrones, and Black 47, has landed the role of Fajal. Oh, that was easy. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Born into a clan of warriors sworn to protect the king, Fajal carries a deep scar within, the death of a loved one who fell in battle trying to save him. Oof, that's
Intense.
never good.
They're trying to build their own Game of Thrones universe.
They are, but as you know, with like any time, now that I started to do that accent, I just wanted to go. There can be only one.
That could be only one.
That's right, Highlander. Sorry.
It's so funny.
Sorry,
Ryan Murphy, who is
that guy again?
all over the news this week, and Ian Brennan's latest project for Netflix, Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, has found its lead. Evan Peters, a longtime staple of Murphy's American Horror Story anthology series, will take on the role of the notorious serial killer. And Niecy Nash, who was starring in Scream Queens back in 2015, has been cast as the show's female lead, Glinda Cleveland. Cleveland was the neighbor of Dahmer who alerted the police and the FBI of Dahmer's suspicious behavior, but they did not listen. And Penelope Ann Miller has been cast as Dahmer's mother, Joyce, alongside Richard Jenkins, who it has previously announced as his father. Dahmer's father.
Richard Jenkins and Penelope Ann Miller are going to be fucking epic.
Right?
Together. I love them, man.
Yeah.
They are both phenomenal actors. Richard Jenkins, if you don't recognize his name, he's been in everything. He's got a face that as soon as you see it, you'll know who he is. Man, that's great casting.
It's got the face.
It's got the face, eh? You know? Stephen Yeun, speaking of awesome, and Ali Wong. Oh my God, that's an epic team up also. They're teaming up for Beef, a comedy drama series coming from Netflix. The show follows two people who let a road rage incident burrow into their minds and slowly consume their every thought and action.
Jesus.
Beef is going to be 10 half-hour episods. Man, speaking of, Glenn's doing pretty fucking good since Negan bashed his head in, huh?
Right. He's like,
He's
I'm
everywhere,
fine.
man.
I'm fine.
Oscar nominated, by the way. Oscar nominated.
Hell yeah.
That's what happens when Jeffrey Dean Morgan bashes your head in. I'm just saying.
It's true. It's true. Going over to Amazon, iZombie alum Malcolm Goodwin, William Fitzgerald from Scream, and Chris Webster from The Most Dangerous Game have been tapped as series regulars opposite of Alan Richardson and the upcoming Amazon original series Jack Reacher. Goodwin will star as Chief Detective Oscar Finley, a Harvard-educated tweed suit-wearing northerner who recently relocated to the small town of Margrave and to take on a job in the Margrave Police Department. Fitzgerald starred as Roscoe Conklin, who is born and raised in Margrave and is a smart and proud officer of the police department. And she is resilient as she is intimidated by nothing and no one. Webster is going to be playing KJ, the spoiled son of a businessman in town, benefactor Kleiner. So there's a lot of good things happening over at Amazon.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and sticking with Amazon, but I'm not sure if this one I'm okay with because I was a huge fan of the original movie, and I don't know about this. I don't know. But Chrissy Fit will recur in Amazon's I Know What You Did Last Summer series. A modern take on the 97 horror film. The project comes from Sony Pictures Television and Amazon Studios. Details about Fitt's character have yet to be revealed. The previously announced cast includes Madison Iceman, Brianna Chiju, Ezekiel Goodman, Ashley Moore, Sebastian Amaro, Fiona Reese, Cassie Beck, Brooke Bloom, Bill Heck, and Sonia Bull Morris. You know who I didn't hear on there? Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, it's true.
Or Ryan Phillippe, or Freddie Prinze, or Sarah Michelle Gellar. I feel like if they don't make appearances,
At least cameos. Like,
come on,
now.
guys. I mean, Jennifer Love Hewitt, at least. The whole fucking thing was built around her. Like, I'm just saying.
Just saying. Patrick Schwarzenegger is joining Chris Pratt in Amazon's conspiracy thriller series, The Terminal List.
Keeping it all in the family.
Yeah, literally. What's up, bro? Based on Jack Carr's best-selling novel, and a key role, Constant Wu, Riley Keough, and Taylor Kitsch and Jania Triplehorn also star in the series, which Pratt will be executive producing. We've told you about this one before. Yep. Terminal List follows James Reese after his entire platoon of Navy SEALs is ambushed during a high-stakes covert ops mission. Reese returns home to his family with conflicting memories of the events and questions his capability, and a whole bunch of PTSD stuff. So it makes sense. And Schwarzenegger is going to be playing Donnie Mitchell, a fresh out of training special warfare operator who knows Pratt's character. So there it is.
There you go. Pratt will teach the youngin'.
It's true.
No doubt.
It's true.
That Kennedy clan, that Kennedy and Schwarzenegger clan, they're doing really well.
They're
doing
together.
really well. This one sounds interesting. John Waters has joined the cast of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel Season 4. Oh. Waters will appear in a guest starring role in the 4th season of the acclaimed series, but, like always, the exact nature of his character is being kept under wraps. Damn you! Season 4 is currently in production in New York right now.
Come on, Paladinos. Come on now. Come on. Now heading over to Apple. Director Peter Farrelly finally getting ready to follow his Best Picture Oscar winner, The Green Book. Amazon Studios is in talks to finance the greatest beer run ever, with Zac Efron and Russell Crowe in talks to star, with Bill Murray also being courted for a supporting role. Beer Run tells a story of leaving New York in 1967 to bring beer to his childhood buddies in the Army while they are fighting in Vietnam. Donahoe took the good idea to the extreme, hitchhiking a ride through on a merchant marine ship, then carrying the beer through the jungle as he tried to track down his 3 friends dressed in shorts, Hawaiian shirts, and he was mistaken for the CIA, which made his effort a little bit easier. Finally, he completed his beer run, and the Tet Offensive happened.
Wait, you weren't around in 67?
I wasn't around in 67.
What's going on with the shorts and
me.
Hawaiian shirts? Come on now. Fantastic wasn't there. What are you talking about? Hey, if you're the only O that matters, how do you follow up the biggest interview of all time with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle?
Right.
You land a poet laureate. That's how you do it. The only O that matters, herself, Oprah Winfrey, is going to sit down with poet laureate Amanda Gorman for the Oprah Conversation on Apple TV. 23-year-old poet, author, and activist became an instant sensation when she spoke at President Biden's inauguration, becoming the youngest inaugural poet in history. Damn.
Yeah.
That's how you follow it up, because Oprah's the only O that matters.
Exactly. And I mean, everybody's been talking about her poem since it happened.
Yes.
So, I mean, it only makes sense. It only makes sense. But, man, such a good industry news segment. We had a lot to talk about.
Slam-packed and all that. You know I was Jones. All that superhero news.
Yeah, exactly.
And 2 very controversial decisions that will decide, I think, the 10 years of 2 very powerful people. Bob Chapek, CEO of Disney, Anna Sarnoff, CEO of Warner Brothers Pictures. We'll see.
We'll see,
We'll see how that goes.
All right. Now it is time for the Top 5 segment. And it's a little dumb this week. It's a little dumb.
It is a little dumb this week.
Like we teased.
That's right. Thanks, Jason, our producer, for giving us this dumb category.
Exactly.
Of course, we're talking about our top 5 favorite dumb movies.
Yes.
Now, to be fair, we want to clarify. We don't think that these movies were dumb, as in we didn't like them. These are movies about dumb characters or dumb storylines, like in general. People acting stupid, if you will.
Exactly.
That's what they're about. We don't hate these movies. Don't send us shit.
Right.
These are that I just wanted to clarify.
Exactly.
So, okay. Dumb movies.
Oh, man. Which really, I mean, was kind of a little bit invented, and not really invented, but taken, like, helmed by the rein was Will Ferrell. Like, he made so many dumb movies.
He really did, but I would go even further, because I'm old, and say Leslie Nielsen. With
there you go.
Because
Yeah.
the fart thing, yeah.
We all know. My number 5, I mean, it just has to be mentioned because it's so funny and it makes fun of one of my other favorite movies, Varsity Blues, but it's not another teen movie. And this one has Lexi Gray in it, and it also has Captain America, Chris Evans, in it as well.
It does.
And I mean, you get to see Captain America with the little whipped cream bikini and a fucking banana coming out of his ass. It's hilarious. But I mean, it's just so funny
America's
to see
ass.
Yeah, America's ass with a banana coming out of it. It's just so funny to see like these characters who are very successful, are these actors who are very successful now that are playing just such these goofy roles. So
Absolutely.
yes, not another teen movie, my number 5.
Okay. Good choice. Because who doesn't want to talk about America's ass?
Right.
My number 5 is, I'm going to tell you the title, and then you can insert numerous other titles because they're all basically the same movie. Dumb movie.
Yes.
My number 5 is Billy Madison. Insert Happy Gilmore. Insert Waterboy. Insert Mr. Deeds. Any Adam Sandler movie from that era, dumb movie.
It's true.
But brilliantly so, because they're all fucking epic movies. Happy Gilmore, all of them were fantastic films. But he is the epitome of a dumb guy. I mean, Bobby Boucher, guys, come on now. Come on. So my number 5, Billy Madison. Adam Sandler making the most of playing dumb.
Right, exactly. He's basically the same character every single time.
Absolutely,
With
but
like
he's
an
made like
accent
$500
or-
gazillion playing that same character. so.
Exactly. My number 4 goes to Fired Up, which is basically kind of just like Not Another Teen Movie. Basically about these football players who are like, man, fuck football camp. Let's go to cheerleading camp so we can hit on all these girls, which is hilarious.
Up the skirt.
Yeah, obviously it's hilarious because, high school guys obviously want to be with the cheerleading girls. So it's just so funny, and so many different people were in it, like Eric Christian Olsen, who was also in Not Another Teen Movie, and Nicholas D'Astio, who is like huge actor now, is just on The Good Doctor and all the good stuff. So yeah, I mean, like I said, dumb, hilarious, goofy ass movies, especially for a high schooler. Like, this is the epitome of what I wanted to be when I was in high school. So it was funny.
It's true. You want to know what my number 4 is?
What?
Alrighty then, I'll tell you. It's Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Yes.
Speaking about a guy who's classic at playing dumb, right? I mean, this guy's epic at doing so. And Ace Ventura, basically, after Living Color, launched this guy into mega stardom. Of course, talking about Jim Carrey.
Yes.
This movie was freaking hilarious from start to finish. When he's driving and he sticks his head out the window. You know, I mean, the whole thing is just... There was a little, tiny, maybe somewhat known star in that movie along with him. I'm not talking about Dan Marino.
No.
I'm talking about a certain friend, Courtney Cox. Yes. Oh, yeah. And Tone Loc. Funky Cole Medina and Wild Thing, and like so many cool things came out of Ace Ventura Pet Detective, but I still don't want to see the remake.
No,
I still don't want to see it right now.
The third one
we
should
don't-
not be a thing.
We don't need a third one. But anyway, my number 4, Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
Yes. My number 3 goes to another all-time, like, stoner flick, basically. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. Now, these guys are just hilarious. Just obviously get stoned, trying to find their way to White Castle. And they're not trying to drive because they're under the influence and doing things responsibly. But, of course, they go through a little craziness. I mean, they come across Neil Patrick Harris. Like, just so many good things. And, I mean, John Chow and Kal Penn. Kal Penn worked for Obama, if a lot of people didn't know. Left Hollywood and completely took the political route. So, I mean, just a hilarious movie. And Harold and Kumar Go to Guantanamo Bay is pretty funny too. So
Yes.
good couple of iterations of this film. But yes, my number 3, Harold and Kumar.
There you go. All right, my number 3, I'm taking it back to what I talked about at the top of this thing, Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen and Priscilla Presley in maybe the dumbest movie possibly of all time. At least, okay, well, my number 1, I think, is the number one. Duh. But this one's on the list of dumbest movies of all time. I'm talking about The Naked Gun. The spoof of O.J. Simpson is in this movie, guys.
Yeah.
That could be the dumbest move, and but this is pre-slashers, Anyway, this movie was just straight up plain slapstick stupid comedy. Like, he's looking up the dress and it says nice beaver, and he's got the fart like sound, and it's just basically a spoof of all the cop movies, but brilliantly done, and it spawned a bunch of sequels, and but yeah, The Naked Gun. I mean, they made fun of everybody. Queen Elizabeth, like, if you were alive during they were making fun of you in this movie. It was crazy.
So good, so good. My number 2 goes to Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny. I mean, you got Jack Black, Kyle Gass. They're just so funny together, and I mean, obviously, Tenacious D is their band, and they,
of course,
underlying is the music. But I mean, you got like Ronnie James Dio, who guest starred in this thing. Troy Gentile, who is on the Goldbergs now. He's the big brother Barry. And, I mean, you got Dave Grohl as Satan. You got Ben Stiller as the Guitar Center guy. And, I mean, Amy Adams was in this thing. Colin Hanks. Like, so many notable, huge people were in this such a goofy movie. And, I mean, they throw it back to like classic films like that Stanley Kubrick Orange, whatever the fuck.
Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange with like the gang beating up Jack Black.
Yep.
And it's just so funny, guys. If you haven't seen this one, go check it out.
It's definitely deserved and worthy to be on the list.
Yes, right.
My number 2, I'm taking it back like you did to a stoner flick. And maybe, quite possibly, the most successful franchise launch off of Saturday Night Live. I'm talking, of course, with Dana Carvey and Mike Myers, Wayne's World.
Yes.
Swing! I'll have the come of young some guy. I mean, just so many, some young guy. There's so many things epic about this movie, about these two dumb characters and their group of friends.
Right.
Probably the most classic scene of all, though, is in the car with Bohemian Rhapsody, where you're headbanging and stuff.
Getting into it.
Or talking about having a crush on Bugs Bunny dressed as a woman when they're totally stoned on top of the car. Right. Like, all of it's fucking stupid, but in the most epic way possible. Wayne's World, my number 2.
Yes, so good, man, so good. And my number 1 goes to probably the most quotable freaking dumb movie ever. Step Brothers, Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. These two pair up in so many great things. Talladega Nights and the latest one that won the worst movie of the year at the Razzies, the Sherlock Holmes movie, which I didn't even go see because I bet it was so stupid.
Yeah.
But Step Brothers was probably the peak of their dumbness. I mean, of course, you got like two 40-year-olds still living at home with their parents, and so many quotables in this movie. Did you put your nuts on my drum set? No, I didn't put your nuts on your drum set. I was watching FBI. Why are you sweaty? Because I was watching Cops.
That's right.
It's so goofy, man. And I mean, the Chewbacca mask. There's, like I said, so many quotables in this movie. It's so freaking funny. So that's why it didn't age well. So if I go back and watch it now, I'm like, this is really fucking stupid. But this is the point. This is the point when you're watching it in the time that it came out, when it's relevant and popular. It's more funny. So yes, my number 1, Step Brothers.
That is a good one and hard to top.
Right?
Hard to top. By the way, before our producer Jason texts me or calls me out or whatever because I haven't had enough coffee, the joke is cream of some young guy. Cream of
Cream young guy. Some guy.
I know, Jason. Don't you be calling me out. I didn't have coffee. Now, my number 1 is all in the name.
It is.
This is dumb movies. Can you have a list of dumb movies without the movie with dumb in the name? Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, right.
I mean, come on, guys. Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey and Lauren Holly. This has got to be the most ridiculous movie I have ever seen in my life. But these two pull off Dumb and Dumber brilliantly. So you're saying I got a chance? I mean, come on. This movie was brilliant from start to finish. I mean, I cannot imagine. And Jeff Daniels, this movie shows his range beyond. But I mean, you're talking about Comey, right? You just saw him recently in Comey. Go watch Dumb and Dumber if you haven't watched Dumb and Dumber, and you're like, how is this even the same guy?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And maybe, quite honestly, Jim Carrey's best performance.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, in these type of roles. I mean, in Ace Ventura is pretty hard. The Mask, you have all these crazy fucking films that he's been in, but this one tops the cake, man.
I agree.
My number 1 dumb movie, Dumb and Dumber.
I agree. It's the same with John C. Riley too. I mean,
Yeah.
those guys' range. Like they can go from stupid, just fucking crazy, but then get super like deep into the drama role and where they can just blow it out of the park. Like that one with John C. Riley and Joaquin Phoenix when they're brothers. Like it was so dark and epic and so much dialogue that just goes back and forth like monologues. But yeah, I love when actors have that range because you can see them in so many.
Well,
different roles.
and to be fair, I don't want to discount Jim Carrey. I mean, look at Eternal Sunshine.
Yeah,
that
that
was a
one's deep,
fucking
too.
dark drama role, and
Yeah.
he did absolutely fucking brilliant in that. So his range is there as well.
Exactly.
But you can never take away his comedic fucking genius or
It's
John C. Riley's comedic. I mean, these guys are brilliant.
Agreed, man. Agreed. Well, what's your top 5 dumb movies? We want to know. Be sure to hit us up on social media or the YouTube comment section or the podcast comment section.
And there are no dumb choices.
There are no dumb choices. You got it. You got it. Well, now heading over to the box office recap. Number 1, Raya and the Last Dragon, still reigning high at number 1 with 5.2 million. I'm betting these numbers, the box office scores are the percentage of revenue that's being taken in will go up now since more theaters are being opened.
Hopefully.
So yeah, 5.2 million, and Tom and Jerry got 3.8 million at number 2. The Courier got 2 million. Chaos Walking got 1.9 million, and The Croods: A New Age got 620,000. That's the only one that's under a million.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
It is.
Oh man, new movies that are coming out: Doors, Malibu Road, Nobody, 6 Minutes to Midnight, and The Seventh Day. I have no idea about any of those.
Now, do the 6 minutes to midnight lead to the 7 minutes in heaven?
That's a great question.
I'm just saying. I don't act like you don't know.
No,
You know.
you don't know. Movies you can still go see are Boogie, The Marksman, Wonder Woman 1984, The Little Things, and The Father.
Liam flipped it again.
I know.
Just
It's like, listen.
we keep an eye on that because we're crazy.
Exactly. Our IMDb Pro top trending segment. You guys know we love this app. We used it during the show to make sure we got the right movie that
That's right.
fucking Michelle Williams and Seth Rogen were in
That's
together.
right.
So
Something about a waltz.
something about the waltz. By no surprise, it's all superhero stuff.
Yeah,
this
you
week.
didn't even need the app to guess this week. I
No.
mean, this would be pretty simple common sense.
Yeah, exactly. The top trending movie is the Justice League, the Zack Snyder version. Obviously, I bet this won't be around for a while because so many people are still going to go see it.
Oh, yeah.
and
the black
watch
and
it.
white version's out now, so
Yeah, exactly. Top trending TV show is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and the top trending star is Zack Snyder himself.
Duh.
Yeah, are you surprised by any of these? No, definitely not. Well, anyway, guys, thank you for getting crazy with us on episode 155 of Inside the Crazy Ant Farm. We had a blast. Be sure to follow us on social media at ItCap Podcast and at Crazy Ant Media. And you guys know you can follow us both personally, myself at JLoFantastic, and
Crazy Ant Guy 1970.
that's right, man. That's right. And you guys know you can subscribe to this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. And I'm talking Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Stitcher, and so much more. And you guys know you can watch this video on YouTube. Be sure to hit that like button on the video, subscribe, and ring the bell for all those latest and greatest Crazy Ant notifications. Be sure to visit our website as well, www.crazyantmedia.com, where you can start rocking the latest and greatest Crazy Ant Media gear. And you guys know you can start showing some love to the guys you love on our Patreon page. Start making a little donation, and you do get things in return, some awesome merchandise stuff. Honestly, there's a lot of great things that we talked about this week in the industry news, and obviously the top 5 is just so funny. But I'm really the superhero news. That was honestly the most popular thing that I was excited about talking about.
The conversion is complete.
Whatever. He's now ready.
If I can just get him to pick up a comic book. I'm working on it.
But yeah, and I mean, obviously George R.R. Martin's overall deal with HBO and HBO Max, that's by no surprise. But I also am pretty happy with the recasting of the Flash's father, because I feel like they sort of do look alike, and especially however much they use his character in the actual film, I feel like that'll be a good just glimpse. So yeah.
I agreed. I'm super stoked about the casting of Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. I think that's a brilliant move. The possibility of Daredevil entering the Disney Plus, universe in a TV show because of the appearance of Echo now and Hawkeye. So that's got fans wondering and everything. The awesome diversity that Falcon and the Winter Soldier is showing. Just like everything, man. There was a ton of just superhero news that was amazing. Love Don Cheadle going to be the narrator for the Wonder Years. That's fucking fantastic. I think that's a great thing. Keep that. Maybe like I said, one of my favorite stories was the ironic twist of the firing of the showrunner of All Rise.
Yeah, right.
Just a smart move by CBS to do that, but I just think it's crazy how that all went down. And Sharon Osbourne, we forgot to mention, but bye. Sharon Osbourne going off the talk for much the same reasons as Spotted. So so it's great industry news, man. Great industry.
It was. I'm also excited about Lexi Gray coming back. So we'll see.
The Magic Beach.
Yeah, the Magic Beach. It's just crazy. But then, of course, anytime that she's in the news, we got to talk about her because you guys know we love her. You love her, Oprah.